Hi guys, welcome to Ask the Officer once again. Lovely to see all the students. Well, we're not really seeing all the students, but lovely to get a chance to speak to all of you. And we're here with the entire full-time officer team. We've got Tabitha, we've got Olivia, we've got Priscilla, we've got me, and we'll just try to update you guys on some of the stuff we've been working on. And sorry, me and Priscilla are sharing the same room, so you probably heard a lot of echo there. So just trying to update you guys on some of the things that we've been doing, but also to talk about some of the ongoing things. Elections is one of them, and what I'm gonna ask the officers what they did, when they were running, to have a break from the elections, because we've got a lot of candidates running this year, and it's important to have take a break, have those rest, make sure that you're not burning yourself out, make sure that you're having the break that you need, because elections are always, they're like a marathon and not a race. And just touching on some of the other stuff, so let's start off. How have you guys been, the officers? Let's start off with Tabitha.
Yeah, no, I've been good. Can't complain. It's been a busy time as always, but I've been really good.
That's amazing to hear. Olivia.
Also feeling good. Again, lots of work to do, especially since we're in the second trimester, but getting through it.
That's good to hear. And Priscilla.
I think same as everyone. I've been good as well.
Well, it's good to see everybody's good. I'm good as well. So I want to ask. Well, first of all, to the students watching, just post in any question you want to ask us. Just anything you want to talk about, any question you want to ask us. There's been a lot of stuff we've been working on. We've tried to um, we've been engaged with a lot of students as well. So if there's something that you really want us to talk about, if there's something you want us to ask, just pop a question in the comments, and we'll put it on the big screen. So let's talk about elections, and let's talk about, because we've all have had experiences of running in an election and stuff. What did you guys do in order to have that break, when you guys were running your successful campaigns? What practice did you guys adopt to make sure you're not burning out? What did you do to make sure that um, you're not overstressing yourself, you're having that break in between? So let's start off with this time, Olivia.
Yeah, well, last year, obviously, the elections were fully online, so it felt kind of difficult to take a break from campaigning since you're pretty much on your phone all the time when you're relaxing too. But advice for making sure you're taking adequate breaks would probably be in the same way that you plan when to campaign, also plan for when you're going to take a break and plan what you're actually going to do. Don't just sort of go, I'm not campaigning right now, I'll just sit about. Actually do something like, say, go for a walk with somebody or go for a coffee. Like if you actually plan it in as part of election week, I think you'll feel the benefit of it. You feel more refreshed when you're actually going around campus or, you know, posting things online.
Yeah, and I think it really helps you, stay focused as well, because if you get close to burnout in an election, you just lose the focus, and that just like impacts negatively on you and your campaign. So pro tip coming in from Olivia. Thanks, Olivia. And Tabitha, what about yourself?
Yeah, definitely agree with what Olivia is saying. I think what worked well for me the previous year when it was a fully on campus campaign was just, planning in breaks and actually taking the breaks because you can get very, very overwhelmed by trying to run around and, making sure you've gone to all the classes to give a shout out or you've gone to all the places in the uni where you're allowed to campaign. But just knowing that if you take 15 minutes break, it's good. It's good enough for you. But also something that worked really well for me is that the essay had a lot of workshops in between for candidates to plug into. So I know there was a lot of like emotional resilience workshops. There was a lot of, calm sessions. I don't know what's happening this year because obviously I'm not a candidate, so I've not plugged into what the essay is offering, but I'm sure whatever is being offered is just as good as what was offered before. So that's something really good to also keep your mind off, the anxiety.
Yeah, definitely. And having something to kind of switch off your mind, it's quite important not to be constantly thinking about the same thing. I think that really helps overall as well in the long run. So thanks a lot for that, Tabitha. Priscilla, let's go to you.
I think just like they both said, what I did was, I mean, it was completely online. So, and it was a period where I was writing my assessments. So I think basically when I'm not campaigning, doing one assessment or doing other things, academic or personal at the same time. So I wouldn't really say there was something I did to take my mind off it. But the times I am attending my lectures or doing my assessments, someone else is helping me campaign. So maybe I don't know. I'll just put that as a tip. Maybe you can have a timetable for when you are doing it yourself and a timetable for when trusted people to you can also do it for you. So that was basically what I did, and you can try it if you know it will work for you as well.
Yeah, that's a good shout for our candidates this year. I think all of the advices you guys have given, I think they're all quite necessary in the long run of a campaign. I would quite similarly say the same. I think having a distraction in between, having something to switch off your mind, making sure that you're going on a walk, you're doing all these other things that makes you feel re-energized, and because you know energy is something you need in a campaign, and if you just burn out, it's going to cause a detriment to the campaign and your mental health, your physical health, which is quite important. So yeah, some really good advice coming in from experienced campaigners and successful, election winners. So thanks a lot for that, guys. Um, before we go into the updates, and a lot of us, would be, retiring as full-time officers. Me, Tabitha, and Priscilla, are not rerunning. So. Uh, I just wanted to go around the house and ask what is even if what's your future kind of, where do you see yourself in the future, once we finish office, once we, may that be this year, may that be second year, what's your future, your future ambition, where do you see yourself, what pathway you want yourself to see in, and yeah, just want to see what's your interest like. So let's start off with Priscilla this time.
I felt like you're trying to interview us for our next job. Okay.
I was trying to find I was trying to find a better way of saying it. I didn't want to say it like that. So yeah.
Okay. So I think basically everyone knows my immediate plan is to go back to my masters, just to finish up my masters the next 1 year. And after that, I haven't made up my mind yet if I'll be doing PhD or just, going to work fully. So I don't know yet, but the immediate one is definitely finishing up my master's.
That's amazing. What about you, Olivia?
Hopefully, once I've finished being a full-time officer, I can do also a master's, um, which is at GCU, and then just like Priscilla, I'm not sure. I'll take whatever opportunity comes my way.
I guess this question like really pressured everybody
I
into
don't want to
thinking
think too far in the
yeah,
future and be like,
yeah.
"Oh, I'll have this job," because I'll jinx it.
Yeah, yeah, I think that was not the most easiest questions I could have asked today. So yeah, I take that. Tabitha, what about yourself?
I think similar to Olivia and Priscilla, I think GCU has a way of holding you and not letting you go. So I think both of them are going to be in education at GCU for a bit. So hopefully I'll make a comeback as a student in September. Who knows? Who knows? It's you never know what's coming ahead. But I've really in the last 2 to 3 years I've really gotten this burning urge to get into equality and diversity, and help institutions of higher education get into that and actually achieve tackling racism on campus. So if anyone's hiring, this is a good time to plug my CV. I'm looking for a job. But yes, so getting into equality and diversity, and also my true love, psychology. So I'm looking to go back to being a psychologist and practicing in whatever way that will look. So balancing those two is what my future looks like.
Yeah, that's really amazing. I think everybody's gonna find the 21, 22 full-time officer team around the campus, just hanging about, being students. For me, I think I will be finishing a master's degree, but I'm just not sure if it's going to be here at GCU, or because I haven't decided. The exact course that I want to go for, but I definitely want to finish a master's degree. um so that's really interesting. All of us are going back to student life after this, and that's quite interesting. So anything you guys want to, let's talk about. We've talked about the elections, of course. This is a good time to plug the elections itself, guys. If you haven't voted already, make sure you vote. It's really important that we the students have a say in how we want the leadership to be, who we want to represent. So it's important for all the students to go out and vote. So make sure you cast your vote. Anything you guys want to update the students about? I know we've been really busy. I know we've all been working really hard, recently with the campaigns, with the hundreds and thousands of meetings that we had to have to attend every not every day, but every once in a while. So anything you guys want to update the students on, and I'm not going to pinpoint to anybody, just to not push anybody under the bus. But actually I can start off as well. And a lot of these things we've all been like involved together. So the rally on 22nd February, we went outside Edinburgh Parliament along with a lot of the other officers from Scotland to strike to tackle student poverty and staff rights, making sure that our staff are valued, learning and teaching staff are valued. So that went really good. All the full-time officers, all four of us attended, and we got a chance to meet all the officers from other institutions as well. And Yeah, we were there until, like, what was it, 2 p.m. or something, 2 p.m., 2:30 p.m. or something, and then we came back to Glasgow. But it was a really interesting one. It was great to see the energy coming in from all the officers present there. And we had a great contribution and participation coming in from UCU and US, and different groups, to be honest, outside of the kind of student and trade union circles as well. So that's one of the things that we participated in. And then we were to attend the London strike. We couldn't go, unfortunately, but Tabitha went there, and Tabitha said a lot of the told us a lot of the lovely things that happened in the strike, which I'm sure Tabitha would be able to update us further on. uh, I attended the strike at Stirling, University of Stirling. Arranged their own strike in terms of tackling student poverty and staff rights and pay, equal opportunities, equal pay. And we didn't really have a lot of different unions being present there, but it was really good to show solidarity to University of Stirling, the staff there, the students there. So it was a really good experience. And I was joined by some of the students from GCU. So that went really really well. And yeah, there's a couple of more things, but I'm sure you guys will be touching on that. But just trying to transition to Tabitha, because I mentioned the London strike. Tabitha, would you want to tell us more about how the experience was for you, and how did you represent the students of GCU there?
Yeah, definitely. No, it was a fantastic experience. Actually, got to visit our London campus for the first time as an officer. Surprisingly, we've been in. I'm almost leaving, and it's the first time we've managed to go to London. But that's all thanks to COVID. But it was really fantastic to also be in the London campus and just be able to see some of the students there as well. So that was quite good. But yeah, it was a really good opportunity to sit down and discuss, because I know we got officers from all around the UK coming and meeting in London, and we had several workshops as well, just to brainstorm how we can work as universities from all these different regions of the UK to work together and tackle the education issue, because we know that our education system in the UK is not working currently, and the government isn't listening. So we have to find a way to channel our student voices together, whether you're an officer or not. If you're a student and you're actually going through education, this should be something you should be looking at and joining your student officers and your universities to fight, because education is important to a lot of people. And if the government isn't acting and giving us education we need, then something needs to be done, and it needs to be done now, not tomorrow but now. So it was quite nice to sit around the table, well, not a physical table because we were outside, but it was nice to sit around a table and speak to all these fantastic officers and listen to some of the work they're doing within their universities to campaign for better student rights and better workers' rights as well, because it was a strike that was in collaboration with the UCU, which is a lecturer union, trade union. So it was nice to see staff and students working together to give better working conditions for staff and better learning conditions for students. So it was fantastic to be there and just to represent GCU and show our solidarity in fighting for the rights of our students and staff as well.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting point you've just raised, Tabitha, about the education in UK, making it more accessible, as a whole. There was one interesting fact that I was just researching into. Even though education in Scotland is free, and I mentioned that today over lunch to you guys, even though education in Scotland is free, students are ending up with the same amount of debt as people down south, or people in other nations. And it just talks about some of the the need to kind of look into the barriers. What's causing this? Why are students overall being burdened with debt? How is that? What's making that happen? So that's a really interesting point. Anything else, Tabitha, you've been involved in recently?
Yeah, definitely. If you've been on our campus at any one point in the last couple of weeks, you've obviously seen the Call It Racism campaign. So that is going on through until the 21st of March. So that will be the end of the official campaign on campus, but that's not the end of tackling racism on campus. So that's just the beginning of the work, actually. But because of that, there's going to be a rally on the 19th of March, and this rally is going to be from Kelvin Grove Park to George Square. So if you're a GCU student, an alumni, a GCU staff, or just a friend of GCU in general, we'll be meeting at Kelvin Grove at 10:30, so that we get together and get that community spirit together and walk in the march. So more information is coming out. I'm sure there's an email or something that's going to come out today in terms of comms to show some of the information about where we'll be meeting, maybe what will be needed of you, if anything is needed of you to come to the march. So that will be a fantastic opportunity for, again, our staff, students, alumni, and friends to come and do together. But apart from that, just generally been working with the school. So that's the School of Health, and just looking at some of the things we've been talking about in terms of equality, diversity, and inclusion, and also embedding SDGs in our curriculum as well, because that's something we know has been lacking, particularly in the School of Health, and just working around, getting that done within the school, actually just putting the systems in place to get that done. So it's been a lot of meetings, a lot of busy work, and I'm sure that's with everybody else. It gets busy towards the end of Tri B, because that's when all the committees are meeting, but just getting the work done.
Yeah, there comes a point where you've got like three reports you have to submit in a matter of like 1.5 weeks or something. And it's time like those which sometimes give me nightmares. Anyway, thanks for that, Tabitha. So Olivia, you want to go next with anything you want to update the students about, and the work that you've been involved with, the work you've been doing?
Yeah, well, recently I've been doing once again more work on well-being. I feel like every single time we do ask the officer and you ask what I've been doing, it's always I've been working with well-being services. But it's to continue kind of working on the student mental health agreement, and that is the document that students can access that tells them everything that the SE and the university have done over the past few years that you can access if you're needing any mental health or wellbeing support. So that's things like Mindful Mondays or different events that are going on with the Advice Centre. I'm also working on getting up donation points put through the campus so that any students who want to help us raise money for what's happening in Ukraine can do that. So once they're up and ready, we can advertise that to you so that the students are aware kind of where they can go to help out with that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's going to be, that's a really important aspect that we're looking into, because the whole situation is just so devastating, and a lot of our students are actually coming forward themselves to to try to see if they could volunteer and trying to help in any way. So yeah, that would be really interesting to see what comes out of it. Thanks for that, Olivia. Anything from you, Priscilla?
Yeah, I think firstly I'll just say Happy International Women's Day to all the women out there. So basically, I've been working with the International Women's Day Planning Committee just to have a lot of things to do throughout this week, started yesterday actually. So we've had a lot of things, and there are so many activities that we have planned out for today, and on the 10th, which is the GC Aurora Champion conversation with our principal. And we have a lot of people that have registered already, and you can still register. Just go to the Eventbrite and you'll be able to register. Also, we have something planned for the the 9th, which is a lot of programs and webinars that is mainly for the women. So lots of activities going on, and you can also post on your social media just to stand with the women for the International Women's Day. Also, I've been working, myself and Tabitha have been working on the BAME Careers Festival, which was concluded last Wednesday, and it was a really nice one. We had a lot of diverse students attend, and we have a lot of what's it called, presenters and people that came to talk, and it was a really great event that people got a lot of ideas and a lot of knowledge from. And also, um, with the NUS, we've been trying to, there is this NUS Students Housing rally coming up on the 23rd of February, no, March, on the 23rd of March. So, which is going to be happening in Edinburgh. And we as a students association are trying to join that, because we know that students housing is really affecting everyone, if not everyone, but a lot of people or someone around you. So we are trying to, stand in solidarity with every other students in Scotland to come together and do this rally. So just if you would like to attend, maybe get in touch with one of us and we can arrange transportation for that day. um, what am I missing? Yeah, also we've been trying to, have a lot of presentation in year four classes. I mean, that should be for all of us. Year four classes in all of the schools, trying to, talk about the NSS. I'm sure most of those in final year have gotten the NSS email by now. So if you haven't already done the survey, please kindly do the survey. I think there is a prize to be won for those that do it by 31st of March, and the deadline will be 30th of April. So for those that haven't done the NSS survey, and we'll also be posting something just to let you know what the Students Association is doing by the time you get to the question that has to do with the Student Association as well. And I think we also had the first pop quiz last 2 weeks. not the best, but we just hosted the first, started it off. So we'll be having the next one, I think, sometimes, that's the last Thursday of the month. So you can just put that in mind for the pop quiz as well. And yeah, I think that's it for me.
Thank you so much. That was really detailed, Priscilla. And just to kind of add to the rally one, like Priscilla said, it's quite important that we take action about the whole housing situation. It's not the problem is significant for students, but it actually is a problem far beyond the student movement. 34% of rent prices increases just in student accommodations, and it has come to a point where we as a team have been struggle to figure out a way where we could support the students, because uh, it's just been out with our control, as a as the student reps at GCU. So it's a really significant problem, and action must be taken. And what we're calling the government to do is introduce rent controls, to introduce a student housing guarantee, um, a review of the whole student housing system in Scotland, which I think is quite necessary to deal with this problem. And so that's why we're going to the strike outside the Edinburgh Parliament, 23rd of March. And like Priscilla said, it will be really good to see students joining us, because this is something that, like I said, is a serious issue, for the students. And we would be traveling together, all the full-time officers, all four of us would be going. So if you do plan, and if you are interested in joining us, do let us know, because we'd be going by train, and we'd love it if you join us. Of course, all expenses and everything would be covered by the executive committee of the association. So um yeah, just get in touch, if you'd love to be involved. um just 2 points from me, actually just 1 point, because most of them were covered by all of us. And we're now looking into, like, we're in a more comfortable position, of because I've had a conversation with the university as well. We're now looking into conveying the message and changing our language in terms of the communication university is putting forward to the students, the staff, in trying to take things back to normal in terms of activities and everything that happens on campus, changing the signboards, and just um, changing the language being conveyed about how um, activities and everything is going to take place in the university. So that's really important in order to make sure that we're progressing in terms of our stance as a students association, which is we are we're advocating for more in-person learning and teaching. We're advocating for more on-campus activities. We're advocating to see more engagement, more activities happening all across the campus, in safe measures, of course. So that's one of the things that you could expect as well. um but yeah, I think that's most of the major updates that we had for you guys. I'm not sure if there's anything else, guys, you guys maybe want to talk about. Yeah, Tabitha.
Just one thing to plug. So our next election, our our election results night is on Friday. So that's at 6:30. So if you find yourself on campus, feel free to come along to the Students Association building. So there'll be obviously the announcement of the new full-time officers. So all of them sending us to retirement, and then there'll be also bingo babes. So there'll be a nice show right after the elections results. It will be a nice time to come together as GCU community to, say hello to our new incoming officers as well, and just enjoy our bar, which, as you know, has been going through a lot of changes in terms of getting a new menu and much more coming along the way. But yeah, so it will be good to see all GCU students there celebrating the end of our successful election week.
Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting for us as well, because last year we didn't have this kind of physical on campus thing at any campus. the last time we had it was back in 2020, and that was on our campus. That was, we went all the way to west of Scotland for that. So it's going to be interesting to have that, because it becomes really exciting, because there's a screen, you see the election results roll out slowly, and just makes it much more exciting. And if I recall correctly, it's going to be our union plus UWS, University of West of Scotland. We both will be having our results announced together. So that's going to be really, really interesting. So you could, drop by to have a conversation and find out who your next full-time officer team is. We're excited as a full-time officer team to, see, as Tabitha said, who's sending us home. So, well, I need to find we need to find a better way to phrase this, but yeah, it'll be interesting, and lovely to meet the new full-time officer team. And knowing how the leadership is going to shape up next academic year, and that's going to be quite important, a really important year as well. So yeah, well, thanks a lot to you guys for listening to us, and thanks a lot to the entire full-time officer team for telling the students what you guys been up to, including me, of course. But yeah, it was a lovely conversation. It was really good to be live and get an opportunity to talk to the students. I think that's one of the things that we really missed, in our roles. It's been, we, the pace has increased. We've been able to interact more with students, more often. We've been able to meet them in person a lot, have group discussions a lot in person. So that's a really good change to have. But we always love conversations like these. We always love trying to interact with the students, and always love to talk to the students. So thanks a lot for listening to us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you guys. Bye bye.